Hi, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with me again. As much as I miss living in Oklahoma, being on the plains, close to the Cimarron River where my heart will always be, living here in the Pacific Northwest has its advantages. One of these advantages is our tree fruits. They cannot be beat anywhere. I don't care. I don't care. You can't beat the quality of the tree fruits here in the Northwest. Locally here, about a 20-minute drive from my front door, I can be up on top of a mountain close by where there is a growers association that just provides you with the bounty of their harvest year round. Seriously, from Christmas trees to pumpkins to apples, oranges, peaches, tomatoes, beans, you name it, you can go up on the mountain and buy from local growers. And that's what I did yesterday. So I've got this box of peaches right here, and I thought, why don't we just hang out and make a peach cobbler? Let's do it. Okay, so here are my peaches, and I don't quite know what I'll be doing with all of these. I did not get enough to really do any serious canning as far as canned sliced peaches or canned peach pie filling. I may end up making a little small batch of peach jelly, and if I do, I'll share that with you if you'd like. But for right now, I'm just going to use some of these to make a peach cobbler. These are called Glow Havens peaches. Up on our mountain, they've got many kinds of peaches. They've got, oh my gosh, I can't even think of all of the types of peaches they have. They have Red Havens. They have Rich Ladies, Rosa, Z Lady, O Henry. I don't even know what half of those peaches mean. But these are pretty much a freestone peach. They're so juicy. Oh my gosh, it's what they call their bend over peach because you have to bend over to eat it. But let's go ahead and cut some of these up. I'm going to need about 4 cups of sliced peaches. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll get started. Now, this is a quick, easy type of cobbler. A lot of the recipes that you have seen, have made, have been passed down may be a bit more complicated, where you have to boil the peaches in sugar water before you make the cobbler. Whatever works for you. This is not the only way to do it. This is just how I'm doing it today. So let's make a cobbler. Okay, so I am preheating my oven to 375, and I've got my baking dish here. I'm just throwing a stick of butter in the baking dish, which is a half a cup. Then I'm just going to set that in the oven while it's preheating and let that butter melt. Now I'm going to keep an eye on it, because when it's melted, you want to go ahead and pull it out. You don't want to burn your butter. That's gross. All right, so here's my 4 cups of sliced peaches. Now again, just to clarify, these Glow Havens are so sweet and so soft already that if I was to cook them down, they would just turn into a mush. And they don't need any more sugar added to them. They are naturally sweet peaches. If your peaches are not quite as ripe, if they're a little more tart, if they're more of a cling type peach, then you'll want to add maybe a cup of sugar to your 4 cups of peaches and a 1/4 cup of water, and set it on the stove top and cook it for about 5 minutes, not at a rolling boil, but enough to cook those peaches down a bit and sweeten them up. But I'm not going to do that because these are going to be fine the way they are. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here on our next step. Okay, so I have a bowl here with 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm going to mix in a cup of granulated sugar. Oh, come on, there you go. Again, these are sweet enough. That's all, trust me, all the sugar I'm going to need there for that. I'm going to add in a tablespoon of baking powder. There's all kinds of, I think it just depends on where you're from, where you grew up, and what you were raised with as far as what you consider a peach cobbler. In some parts of the country, a peach cobbler has more of a pie crust type topping. In some parts of the country, it's more of a biscuit, a drop biscuit topping on it. But our family, we always have the kind of a cake type topping to it. So if you're looking at this and you're going, this isn't a peach cobbler, well, it is to me. So, but do you. Okay, so a little bit of salt. Don't get carried away here, Linda. Pay attention to what you're doing. About a quarter of a teaspoon of salt here. And then I am going to just whisk this around, get it blended well. Alrighty. And then I'm going to add a cup of milk. Some cobblers have eggs in it, some of them, it just depends on where you're from, on where you are from, as to what you put in your cobblers. So do what brings you the most comfort. All right, so here's my cup of milk. See if this is enough. And we're just going to stir this in. This doesn't have to be, you know, super fancy here. You just want to mix it till it's pretty smooth. Check my butter. It's still melting. Okay. See? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, speaking of lemon, we're going to add here a tablespoon of lemon juice. Oh, I just made a mess everywhere. Well, surprise, welcome to my kitchen. Okay, if y'all know me, you know Gravity and I have an ongoing battle in all ways. And then I'm going to add, just for a bit of a wonderful flavor here, a little tablespoon of vanilla extract. Okay. And then, because again, this is probably dependent on your own taste and where you grew up and what you were served as a child, I always put cinnamon in mine. It doesn't seem like it should be a cobbler without a little bit of cinnamon in it. So if you prefer yours without, then that's fine, but try it. Just try it with the cinnamon in there. All right, so this is ready. Now I'm going to check my butter in the oven and see if it's melted yet. And as soon as it is, we will, gosh, that smells good already. We'll move on. Okay, so I've just pulled my baking dish out of the oven. My butter is all melted, and the next is really easy. So before I do this, let me just plead with you. Yes, you could use frozen peaches for this. You could use canned peaches for this. You could use peaches out of your grocery store for this. And if that's what you have available, by all means do that. But please listen. If you have the chance to support your local farmers and your local growers, please do so. Now, I could go a mile from my house and get peaches from the store, or I could drive 20 miles up on top of the mountain and get them. I'd rather go see the mountain any day anyways, but I want to support those growers up there because this is their bread and butter. They work all year long to bring this to my table. So support your local growers, you guys. Not everybody's part of a large corporate farm conglomerations, and nor should they be. These are just local folks growing. So there's my spiel, and thank you for listening. Okay, so here's my baking dish with my half a cup of melted butter, and to that I'm just going to pour in my cake mixture type batter here, because you know I are a college graduate, so I'm well spoken. Do not stir this once it's in that pan. This is going to do its own thing. If you stir it up, you're going to have quite a mess. So there's that. And then I'm going to take my peaches and just, my hands are clean. Trust me, I just washed them. Okay, so to that, I'm just going to add my fruit on top. I can remember my grandmother having a little bit of extra household money all of her life. She sold eggs out of, that her chickens laid. She would sell anything extra out of her garden, tomatoes, whatever. From the time she was like 12, she supported herself and helped support herself and her family by doing laundry. And you think back to the day, now they didn't even have electricity until the 50s, and she did not have indoor running water until the 70s. But she as a girl growing up in Oklahoma, would do a bushel basket of laundry for 10 cents, wash and dry. And then she would iron for a little bit extra. But I'd like to see us volunteer to do that kind of work for those wages now, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm going to pop this into my oven at 375. It's going to cook for about 45 minutes, and we'll see what we have when we're ready. Okay, the cobbler is done. It's out of the oven. It cooked for 45, it baked for 45 minutes, and it's still a little bit warm. I have to admit, I had every intention. I stopped by the store after church this morning and got a few things, but forgot to get the ice cream to go with it. So if my husband asks you what the deal is with that, just tell him that it's a new thing. Anyway, okay, let's check it out, see how it came. How it did. Oh my goodness, look at that. Yes, yes, yes. Alrighty. Can you see? Can you see? Probably not. Alright, so here's our peach cobbler. It's got that cake type topping on it, and so good. So good. So, there you are. A really quick, easy peach cobbler. Locally grown peaches, homemade. Menfolk are going to love me. And can you guys see Liza here? You see my little Liza Jane here? It's because she loves peaches. Should we give her a bite? Oh, that's so gross. I don't care. Y'all, if you had a dog like Liza, you would let her have it too. All right, I hope you enjoyed this, and try making it yourself. If you have a different way of making a cobbler or a fruit treat like this, then let us know. Put it on here. Share. All right, you guys, I'll see you later. Bye. Bye, Liza.